Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Creepy Crawlies 1 and 2 on Ultimate Custom Night. While these presets are fairly straightforward, they do force you to switch between your tools often, namely the power gen, the fan, the heater, and the global music box. Thankfully, there is a way to eliminate one of those tools with just a bit more effort. Today, I'll be giving you two slightly different strategies and letting you pick which one you think is best for your playstyle. While these strategies do work on both presets, the second one has a slight variation in Creepy Crawlies 2, which we'll talk about later, so be sure to stick around. The first strategy makes use of the Def Coin to eliminate the puppet. You might want to choose this strat if you're used to farming coins, like if you used my guide for Ladies Night 3, or if you want to opt for a harder setup to make things easier for yourself later on. At the start of the night, turn on the power gen, flip up the monitor, and place the audio lure right here in the duct system. Then go back to the cam system and flip through the cameras, collecting the coins that appear. Once you've collected a total of 10 coins, go to cam 7, buy the Def Coin, go to cam 4, and use it on the puppet. You can now drop the monitor and finish the setup. This might not sound too tricky, but you've got to be careful. You'll have to go fast to execute this setup before any of the other animatronics show up, and before Music Man activates. On top of that, Withered Bonnie has a chance to appear every 13 seconds. If you hear a mechanical whirring noise and see the lights flicker, drop the monitor immediately and put on the Freddy mask until he fully goes away. No matter what you're doing on the monitor, drop it and deal with Withered Bonnie first. You can always finish it after. From this point, you can keep the power gen and fan on until Music Man begins crashing his cymbals, at which point you'll need to turn them both off until the cymbals stop. Now, before moving forward, I'll go ahead and explain Strategy 2. This consists of a much quicker setup and a consistent cycle throughout the rest of the night. You'll still want to turn on the power gen and place the audio lure in the duct system in the exact same place, but once you finish that, you're good to go. Keep the power gen and fan running until 40 seconds into the night, then turn off the fan and switch to the GMB for the next 20 seconds. Repeat this every minute. Run the power gen and fan for the first 40 seconds of the minute, then the GMB for the remaining 20, and repeat. This will take care of the puppet while also ensuring that Music Man never has a chance to attack. Repeat this throughout the night. From now on, the strategies basically merge. Just remember, if you Def Coin the puppet, turn off the power gen and fan until the cymbals stop crashing. If you didn't, stick to the cycles. Keep doing this until the ventilation starts going out. About 10 seconds after the warning signs appear next to the monitor, turn on the heater for 3 seconds, then go back to the tool that you were using beforehand. If you were using the GMB, you might want to run it for a few extra seconds to compensate. Ideally, you should turn on the heater during a power gen cycle, just so you don't have to deal with the GMB for a bit longer and throw off the timings. If you have to do it slightly early, that's alright. This is another benefit of Def Coining Puppet, just to eliminate this scenario. After you finish using the heater and switch tools, close the forward vent, lift the monitor, reset ventilation, drop the monitor, and open the vent. Be sure not to close the vent too late or open it too early. It needs to be shut the entire time that you have the monitor up. You don't have to do this insanely quickly like you might see on some 50-20 runs, so don't worry. Take it at your own pace. It's better to lose a slight amount of power than make a deadly mistake and let Mangle or someone else in. By simply repeating this strategy, no matter which setup you decide to use, you should be able to get through the night without much trouble. Just remember, cycle between the power gen with fan and GMB without fan if you still have puppet on, and watch out for Music Man if you don't. By simply repeating this strategy, no matter which setup you decide to use, you should be able to get through the night without much trouble. Just remember, cycle between the power gen with fan and GMB without fan if you still have puppet on, and watch out for Music Man if you don't. Use the heater and forward vent to reset ventilation safely, and don't worry about losing too much power, you should have plenty. This strategy works just as well for Creepy Crawlies 2, and while almost everything does stay the same, there are a few important adjustments to be aware of. If you're doing Creepy Crawlies 2 instead of 1, you should adjust your strategy in the following ways. If you're gonna Def Coin Puppet, be careful. Withered Bonnie kills after spawning even faster than before, so you have to be ready at all times. If you haven't pulled it off by 25 seconds in, you may also want to shut the forward vent until you're done, just in case Mangle takes the short route in the vents. You can also use a snare to block off the left vent pathway to save a bit of power instead. Once you're 20 seconds in, the music box will also be close to running out. You can either use the GMB until you pull off the def coin, or wind up the box on cam 4 manually for a bit to save power. If you decide to not def coin puppet, the cycles are a bit different than before. You'll need to switch them every 20 seconds. That means 20 seconds with the power gen and fan on, and 20 seconds with the GMB on and fan off. If you forget which one you have on, check the noise meter. It'll be a lot higher if the power gen is on. Just like before, always try and use the heater during a power gen cycle. It's easier to recover from and won't throw you off quite as much. Lastly, no matter which route you choose, be on the lookout for Scrap Trap. He's pretty lenient since he's on 1 AI, but he's still active. He's guaranteed to appear once, no more, no less, so if he hasn't appeared yet, be ready to shut the side vent at a moment's notice when you hear a lot of noise and see lights flickering. Well, that's all for now. Follow this strategy, and you should be able to beat the 9th and 10th preset challenges. What did you think of this video format, by the way? Does it help speed things along a bit quicker, or does it just make things a bit more complicated and harder to understand? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of which, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or to join my community Discord server. By joining the Discord server, you can get personalized tips on any FNaF game from myself, TruePlayer, Shooter25, and a bunch of other FNaF experts and content creators. It's a great community and I highly recommend joining. Once again, thanks to my friend Hyper for making the thumbnail for this guide. I've always been pretty terrible at making thumbnails, so he's been helping out with that for a few months now. His channel is linked in the description and cards, so go support him. With that being said, thank you guys for watching this guide. I hope it helped you, and I will see you in the next one.